Look at these boys and girls. Isn't that quite a view, isn't it? Take a look at that. Ocean is going all down over there. I can tell you that. That's the west. Going down in the west. It's damn beautiful. Here, Porto. 22 degrees it is. And here they have a shop. I'm going to take a little detour here because I need to address something that I was thinking about since I was listening to a documentary. Actually, it was a podcast about the freaking. I actually made a video about this on, I believe it was Saturday, but it didn't turn out very good because I was very busy and very stressed. I think I will go in here and make it. I like to make videos where it's not too many people are meeting on the streets and etc. So yeah, this video goes out to the INCEL movement and the participators there, because that was just something else that I saw, that I listened to that documentary. So first off, let's define what is that INCEL movement. Incels is it's a sad thing, you know. I just tried to catch the palm tree in the background. I thought it was looked so nice over here. But yeah, that is something which means I had to think about it. I remember last time I even forgot the definition myself. It means involuntary celibate. Basically, you cannot have an sexual interaction with the opposite sex, or maybe even same sex. I don't know, but I guess it's mainly the movement involves young men who cannot find a partner, basically. And it's sad to begin with, but it's this documentary was, just to make it short, what it was about. It was about this guy. So feels so weird to hold the camera like this. But yeah, it was about this guy. So a massacre that happened in California back, was it in 2016, I believe. Anyway, I'm not gonna say his name. It's too bad energy to say out loud. It's enough of bad energy just thinking about it. So I forget about me saying his name and throwing it out to the cosmos. It's not worth it. He was actually like 22-year-old guy, and he was very much appreciated in that kind of, in this movement, in this group, on the forums online and so on. And it started off as they interviewed his past friends and people around him, how he said things like, okay, I have this expensive brand glasses, sunglasses, Armani, Germani, whatever, and I have this BMW, and I have all this and that, and I look good. I am the real gentleman, kind of stuff he said. I'm like, he could not understand how girls could be with some guys. And that's true to some degree. You see a lot of girls with some guys and you just question, like, what did he actually have to offer? But he's very judgmental, you know. And then there's also some guys that have girls that you can't understand. But that's how it is, you know. And they, of course, when people are together, they see things in each other, which is a beautiful thing. But anyway, he saw couples and he just got so annoyed, bothered by people or couples kissing in front of him, and he just got more and more agitated and bothered by couples, and he was saying these mean, nasty things to about girls, mainly mainly blonde women, I guess, if I remember correct. Doesn't matter. But this is one thing. If you're listening and you are one of these guys that are like that, just seriously, just get something going for you. That's what it's about. You have to pick up a load and just create something of yourself. It's not easy these times. It's not easy at all. I mean, especially if, yes, considering, I mean, with dating apps and all this garbage, you know, just don't even bother about with it. But I mean, I believe it must be harder if you're growing up in a, or maybe not actually. I mean, imagine growing up in a major, I guess you can call urban city, like one of these metropolises, and you're going, everything starts in the school. But anyway, what it gets down to is to start doing something for yourself. You cannot expect, just because you have material assets, in some ways it may make it more easy. For example, if you are a young guy just in school, living in your basement, mom's basement or whatever, and let's say you are 20 years old, and there's girls that are going to find it much more interesting being with a guy like, yeah, I was gonna say like me, older, but I was gonna say and have a car, but I don't have a car at the moment, which is kind of a relief here in this city. Yeah, but you know, imagine you don't have anything really going for yourself. You're playing video games, you are just home, you're going to school, you don't really have any money, can do too much things. And then there's this guy that have a little bit of a cash in the bank, got your own decent car, you know, you got a little bit going, you know, you can go out. Seems maybe more interesting for some girls, I can understand that. But that doesn't matter that you are like a bad guy or anything, you know. This is the time when you're building something for yourself. Women should be protected. And not saying this because he ended up doing this horrible massacre, like, yeah, just horrible, you know, and killing a few. Obviously one is already too much. This about, he expected kind of like that he was such a gentleman, that women were supposed to line up for him and be on a queue after him because he was such a gentleman, but he didn't even have any girls around him. How can you be a gentleman that way? And it doesn't work that way, you know, that women are not going to, there are some guys that have that thing, I guess. I mean, there are different kinds of that guy. Just thinking about somehow, for me, that sometimes like don't understand how always having a new girl, even if they really don't have anything going for themselves. But they attract some types of girls, I guess, that find that attractive. Just maybe to screw around a little bit with and play around a little bit. But then when it gets to it, they don't have anything to offer. Because I tell you one thing, you guys watching now, there are some guys that they have that attitude, they are the playboy, and they can have they meet a lot of girls just playing around, fooling around, and behind that there's empty, behind that there's nothing, behind that they got nothing going for themselves. So they are, every time they're hooking up with a new girl, they're like, yeah, you know, I got this going, and okay, yeah, it's good, it's great, glad you enjoy it, you know. But after that, then what? You know, we gotta build something for ourselves, and that's actually the main point of this video. I think that in my estimation, my recommendation, what would go for what you should do, or these guys in this movement, basically miserable people, like want to hurt women and hating on them just because they are not getting any girls. Just build something with yourself, you know, start doing something. And I'm not talking about just laying home playing video game and like playing around like that. It has to be you have to have like a mission or a vision with yourself, which makes it more interesting about you. And it's not for the sake of making it interesting about you to attract. That comes later. You need to find something within you that speaks to you, and then that will kind of vibrate, or how should I say, it will be transmissed, or can't find the word, but it will be visible, because women are smart like that. They can kind of sense what is interesting to them, I guess. And that is almost like a dance. That is almost something that is unspoken. There's something that is going to vibrate on you and is visible on you. And I'm not talking about you gonna be like a SEO. You're not gonna be a famous superstar musician or a famous at all. It's not about that. It's something that you find that basically you're doing something that you love doing. And that is very visible, I will say, because the truth of the matter, the way I see people at least, you can see people who are happy, healthy, and there are of course some people who are very successful but very unhappy, and still very successful with finding partners, I guess we can say. But in the end of the day, what was going to be successful for you, from my personal experience, that is actually by finding something in yourself which makes you feel you are on an adventure. You are doing something with yourself which is actually greater than yourself. And not as some kind of narcissistic way that you need to become this big SEO, or you need to become a millionaire just to show off, because it's not about that. It's just making life interesting for you, that you are on a quest, that you are making something meaningful for you. So get out of there, get out of that mindset. That's it for now. See you. Have a good evening.